Alright, so I want to talk a little bit about the Winador, which is basically it's a wine cooler that you don't. So a wine cooler is it's like a special refrigerator that keeps the temperature. You can adjust the temperature. You can keep it between Fahrenheit. I think about 50 degrees is the minimum, and 65 degrees or so is the maximum. So you can set it. There's settings on here. You can arrange the thing for what you see fit. So you want to keep keeping wine. Some people love, they're wine connoisseurs. They're all into it. I'm not really into wine, but you buy these things, and it's like having a wine cellar. So the wine needs to be at a stable temperature if it's going to age. And the wine, interestingly enough, it ages very similarly to cigars. So a lot of cigars over time, they age and they kind of break down tannins and all that stuff, and it's very similar in wine. So you lose some bitterness, you lose some sourness, flavors change in wine, so you need to age it at a constant, stable temperature for that to happen. So cigars are very similar to wine in that respect. Now, one thing about this, the difference between a wine cooler and a normal refrigerator, which is that over there, is a normal refrigerator uses a hermetically sealed compressor. So the way it obtains the cooling is very different. Essentially, it's the compressor, the action of the machine, the way it functions, is that it will suck out all the humidity. So it's going to be very, very dry in a refrigerator. So you cannot keep wine in there. You can't keep cigars in there. If you keep wine in there, one thing is going to happen is the corks are going to dry out, and you're going to get leakage. The other thing that could happen is that the compressor vibrates, and so that vibration will not allow the wine to age. So this wine cooler doesn't have any vibration. It uses a piezoelectric device. It's like a diode. I'm not going to explain the science of it, but there's no vibration in here, and it just simply cools down everything without any vibration, and it also does not suck out any humidity, any water vapor and stuff. So you can keep everything in here at a constant humidity if you need to. So what I got in here is I store boxes, so I got a few singles down there, but mainly I like to keep my boxes in here. I got my Cuavas, Lanceros, my Trinidads, I got Monte Cristos, my La Gloria Cubanas and stuff. I got it all my boxes are set up in here. So I use this to store boxes and to age boxes. Okay, so right now it's turned off because it's in the winter time. And, the humidity, temperature is just perfect. The humidity is a little bit low. That's because I got it open right now. It's very, very dry in this house. It's winter time. So I have it off because it's winter time. These things they cannot warm up what's inside here. They can only cool down. So it's already 62. There's no reason for me to have this on. So it's turned off right now. Well, what happens is when you get this thing, it comes with all these trays, and basically, it has a real stinky plastic smell. You wipe it all down with baking soda. You get a baking soda, you dissolve it in some water. You take a rag or a paper towel and you just wipe it down really well. And then, let it air out and all that stuff. And then what I did was I put a lot of cedar in here. So any kinds of little cedars you have laying around. This is a little cedar tray. Some cedar from, I think, an H. Upmann box. Here's a cedar here. So loaded it up with cedar. I got these cedar trays. So what I did was, you have these little slots. So I did a little woodworking, and I took some Spanish cedar slabs, and I cut them so they can fit into these little slides here. So I just did this. I mean, you can spend a lot of money and make it real fancy and everything, but I just did it on the cheap. I just made a few little trays. So there's a tray down here that I put in, and then there's a plastic tray here, and I just put this tray in here. So, you know, I mean, you can put drawers where you pull them out on wheels and all that stuff, but I didn't do any of that nonsense. So I just whacked the trays in here, and then I got all my cigars, positioned just right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boxes in here. Okay, and I could probably put one more. I don't. It's really packed. But in the summertime, it's really good. Well, what this does is it stabilizes the temperature. Okay, so that's one thing. And in the summertime, it keeps your cigars cool, which is really what you need. And you can't let your cigars, become 80, 90 degrees in the summer. That's just, phew. So how can you do that? How can you keep your cigars cool in a hot-ass summer? Keep the air conditioning on all day long? Man, that's expensive. So, this thing doesn't really use a lot of electricity. So, a wine cooler is a great option for people that want to keep cigars long-term and age them over a long period of time. So, that's what I'm doing. And, when you age cigars at, I'm doing everything 65%. Okay, so, yeah, just to finish my point, I kind of lost what I was saying. So, you clean it all out with a baking soda, get all that nasty smell out of there, load it up with cedar, and then I just use these Boveda packs. This works fine. I got a mixture of 69 percentages and 65 percentages, and I got like 5 of them just sprinkled throughout on each layer. I got a Boveda pack just sitting in here. Okay, got some down here. I got like about 5 just sprinkled throughout all different locations in this thing, and it keeps the humidity quite nice. In the winter, I'll probably put 69% packs in there with 65%, and in the summer I'll keep it at 65 only. So that keeps the humidity. It's nice and sealed, everything. So humidity is going to be stabilized in there, and the temperature is pretty stabilized. So I have a fire that I use, and it gets pretty cold. So right now it's about 60 degrees, 65 in here, so that's perfect. But in the nighttime, if I'm gone and I don't have the fire on, then it can get pretty cold. But it doesn't really get that cold. It's not going to get like freezing 30 degrees or anything ever. So it's pretty good for stabilizing the temperature. So anyways, that's a little bit about a Winador. Very easy to convert. They come in all different shapes and sizes. You can get smaller ones for $100. I think this one was $300. And I've had it for 5 years. I mean, it really works. So anyways, if you have any questions about Winadors or anything, you can hit me up, no problem. All right.